It's time to laugh, learn, and take your photography to the next level with your favorite cowgirls with cameras, Kara, Kim, and Phyllis.
Welcome to the Cowgirls with Cameras podcast. I'm Kim with Kim Beer Photography and Be More Business.
I'm Kara with Fast Horse Photography.
And I am Phyllis with Phyllis Burchett Photo.
Yay!
Hey!
We all said our names correctly this time. We need gold stars.
We're one for one.
Let's not get too cocky here now.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. All right. So what's everybody been up to?
Go, Kara.
I'll go first, I guess. Well, I have a couple things. First of all, I have to do a little like self-promotion because I'm really excited because it came in the mail this week. If you're on the video, you can see it.
Yes.
Western Horseman did a feature on a local ranch here in the St. Johns County area, which has been a big dream of mine, is to help promote our local Florida ranching industry in Western Horseman. So I worked with Kate and what is Kate's business name? Kate B Creative. There you go. So we worked together. She did the interview and wrote the article, and I did the photography for the project. And it's an absolute gorgeous 12-page spread. And I could not.
Beautiful cover.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The cover is gorgeous. I don't know if you've seen the inside yet, but I
haven't seen it yet. No.
Even better and just like way more incredible than I could have imagined. And I have to say, like, the new editor over there is doing such a great job. And I love
Shout out to Kristen.
Shout out to Kristen. She's a St. Johns County girl too. She's from the St. Augustine area, which was a big surprise to me. Yeah. But the design and the layout, like, it's just really something I think that she and the rest of the team over there should be really proud of. And I might be a little biased, but this is a really great magazine edition. So super excited about that. And then the other thing that's going on in my world is I am going to pick up my kiddo from camp on Thursday. He's been gone for 3 weeks. So I have gone through all of the emotions you can imagine. I have gone from excited for him to anxious to sad to worried to excited again. Like, I've gone through all of that. And I'm now at the spot where I pick him up in just a few days. And I've done date nights with Ed and we've done fun things. But tonight I'm going to do a girls' night. And I'm excited about that. So I'm going to do a little girls. As soon as we're done here, I'm headed out. I'll probably do something with my hair first, but then we're headed out. And I'm a little conflicted about it because I had a colonoscopy yesterday, which means my colon is like pristine right now. And I'm going out to a girls' night where I'm like, there's probably going to be maybe cocktails, like naughty foods. And I'm like, man, do I want to mess it up? It's like perfect right now, So
for good grief's sake. It's a self-cleaning organ, right?
No, but right now it's like crystal clear. Like, it's so perfect. So, anyway, it's like,
God,
that's where I'm at. So I'll have to let you guys know next time we record how that went.
Oh, but, so you haven't eaten anything since you had your colonoscopy?
No, only like super like balanced, healthy foods, like whole foods. So because, I want to keep it like super organized in there right now. I'm on a track.
Maybe that would help me. I need to go get a colonoscopy.
It's just like, you just feel like you're starting fresh.
Oh, God. You're treating a colonoscopy like you just bought a new truck and you can't get the floorboards dirty.
Listen, if anyone else out there can relate, hit us up in the DMs.
I so cannot.
I'm the one that answers them. It's fine.
I need to take things out of the box and make them play with them. So yeah,
I've had several colonoscopies and I have never felt that way.
Well, maybe you're doing it wrong. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe I've been looking at it all wrong.
God.
So what are you guys been up to?
Good Lord. So I'm gonna go because Phyllis has a big update and she's got lots of things to share. Because basically, in all honesty, I just got back to work. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, I'm not officially back for another 2 days,
Yeah, we've missed
but
you. We're so glad you're
yeah,
back. Oh, we're
I
so
am
glad.
back. So what I have done, a lot of my time off has been spent like really resetting, kind of where I want my focus to be. And one of the places that I absolutely love that we've created is the community that we're working in. And so a big focus moving forward for me is going to be doing some live trainings in there and sharing my knowledge and wisdom, especially around some of the tech things that people want to know more about, as well as mindset stuff, which I do a lot of. And so I did schedule 2 live events that will both have happened by the time that this comes out. But I tell you that not to make you have FOMO. They're going to be recorded and put in the resource barn. So if you become a Founding Herd member, you will have access to the 2 that I've already done that are going to be Photoshop Q&A and then going over the Photoshop interface, which I think confuses the bejeepers out of a lot of people. And we're going to make some clarity around that. But moving forward, they're gonna be on a more regular basis. So if there are some things that you really wanna learn about in Photoshop and Lightroom, those are gonna be topics that we're gonna cover live, and you will have access to be able to ask questions. And I'm not the only person that has lives planned. I got a message from Kara earlier today with an exciting idea for talking about in-person sales, which is one of her expertises. And so I'm sure we will at some point convince Phyllis's introvert that she needs to go live in the community.
I'm already getting nervous.
You know what, Phyllis? We'll help you find a good topic.
I'm feeling pressure already.
She says that,
So,
but
yeah.
once she gets started, she's good.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, yes, that's wonderful. And other than that, I've been working on my novel. So, that's crazy. I'm like a third of the way through, and
I
I'm like
figured you
on
would
a
be done
streak.
with it.
Well, it's funny you say that, but here's the thing, and I won't spend much time on writing. I've never written anything that's this long. Like most of the things I write are short stories. 20 pages kind of tops off a short story. This is going to be probably by the time it's done a 300 or 350 page novel.
Sheesh.
And I have discovered something that you kind of have to have a little bit of a plan if you're going to do something that long.
I think that's
It's
true.
a little bit of a requirement. I'm not a big planner
I think
girl.
authors everywhere are shaking their head in agreement right now with you.
Yeah, so I had to go back and like do some backward work because I forgot what I called characters. Funny thing in fiction and in life, I can remember horse names, but I can't remember people.
I think there's actually really good like programs for that too, by the way, like software programs that like help you
Yeah,
keep it
but I don't need
organized.
the software program.
I know.
I'm a big like give me paper. Since digital came along, I don't get near enough of my paper fix, and I know I'm weird, but it's okay. It's okay. You need to keep your colon pristine. I need paper in my life to muck around on.
There you
So
go.
we each have our own little weird neuroses, and
What do
sure,
I
that's not
need?
the only one. Phyllis has no weird neuroses at all, except international travel.
It's not. I don't have a neurosis about international travel. No, I don't have that. I wouldn't have been going if I had that. I don't have any neuroses about travel. I'm weird.
I'm gonna have to look up neuroses real quick.
Yeah. Maybe
I
I
think
don't.
it's
Maybe I don't really
neurosis.
know. Maybe I don't know what a neurosis
I'm
or a
thinking of
neurosis or
necro. I'm thinking of what's the dead thing?
necrophilia.
Necromancers?
Maybe.
Necromancy?
That's what I'm
Yes.
thinking of.
In my
Necromancy.
video game, sometimes I play a necromancer.
Okay, we're going
so
down a
there you
bad
go.
hole.
Yeah.
Let's not go. Let's not go down that one.
All right, Phyllis, what have you been up to?
What did I been up to?
What did you
What
been
have
up
you been
to?
up to? So far, we got our names right. Now we're off track, but you've done some
Well,
fun stuff.
Well, I got home from Scotland and I did have a farm shoot for which I haven't done any. Well, I have done farm shoots before, but haven't done a lot of them lately. But
It was our first farm shoot, everybody.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
no, I have
Phyllis.
been
Woo!
shying away from any kind of work like that. But I was actually really glad that I did. This one is at Gypsy Vanner Farm. Actually, it's based out of Arizona, but their trainer is in Georgia, Felicia Britt. And I'm really excited that I got to reconnect with Felicia and go to her farm. I want to go back. They even had Caspian horses. Her daughter has Caspian
Ooh,
horses from Iran, and
Wow.
there's like a handful of Caspian horses in the United States.
That's amazing
So
to get to photograph
it
that.
was well, I didn't really by the time I got to do them or go see that, because she didn't even tell me that she had them until I was fixing to get in my truck and leave, and I was like, "Can I go see them?"
Ooh. Well, let's
And
plan something, Phyllis.
I know, I gotta go back, but it's like a 2.5 hour drive down
I
there,
mean,
so
I'm in driving distance to Georgia.
to Buena Vista, Georgia?
I could make it happen.
Okay. You'll love this town, it's so cute.
oh, good grief. Okay.
Anyway, so and then what else did I do? Oh, I had my Iceland equine photo tour that I had 6 lovely ladies, again this year, and I had a wonderful group. We had, we had some kinda rainy weather, but we were able to work around it and get all of our shoots in, and mostly in dry weather. We had it wouldn't be Iceland without rain, so that's okay. Um, the farm was wonderful. I had a new, head wrangler this year, Christine, who's worked at the farm for many years, but not been in charge of the horse. She's the horse honestly, she's the horse manager and the assistant office manager now. So she's probably a little overworked. But anyway, yeah, had a great time. And I had my third, Trudy went with me to Iceland for the third time. This was her third trip to Iceland with me.
Aw, I
And
love Trudy.
the first time we were there, she says, "Phyllis, I just absolutely adore your guys' podcast. I laugh, and y'all just make me laugh, and you make me smile, and you make me have such a good time when y'all
We
are on
love
air."
Trudy.
And she said that episode where y'all were talking about sweater weather,
Oh, geez.
Sweater weather.
she says, she says, "Oh my
Don't remind me
gosh,
of that
I
episode.
was," she says, "I was rolling on the floor when when you were talking about sweater weather. So I just had to bring you this." And it's a mug. It's a
That is
Aw,
and it
cute.
says sweater weather on it. And so thank you. Big shout out to Trudy for joining me
You're
again in
gonna
Iceland
you're
and
gonna
for bringing
enjoy
me.
that when you
Yeah,
have
that'll
real
be
sweater weather and you
what,
can put some hot cocoa in it.
what's sweater weather? It's sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
Sweater
sweater
weather.
weather. God.
I cannot wait for sweater weather already.
Yeah, it's hot.
I am dying here in Georgia. I had to go to the farm today and work with the farrier, and oh my gosh, and coming back from Iceland when it's 40 and 50 degrees to 90,
Oh,
almost 98
yeah.
degrees, almost 100 degrees here, and probably 100% humidity.
It's so miserable right now
It's
and
yes.
buggy. My God, the
Oh
bugs
yeah, the
are
gnats.
so bad.
Yeah.
The gnats are just, ugh, so disgusting right now.
Yep. I totally agree. Yes.
It's hard to be outside.
So that's what I've been up to.
Awesome. Well, before we jump into our topic today, I just want to do a quick shout out to our newest Cowgirls with Camera sponsor, which is one of my favorite print companies to work with. So I was so excited when they agreed to help us out. It's Guild Canvas, who I personally use to get all of my canvases, my standard canvases, and my framed canvases through. So as you guys know, with my IPS in-person sales work, I am always looking for like the top of the line products to offer my clients. And they have this gorgeous luxury line of museum quality handmade canvases. These are not machine made, these are all handmade canvases, which are really perfect for portrait artists and like that do what I do. It's just like such a perfect marriage. These canvases are printed on just gorgeous paper that has a longevity of anywhere between 100 and 200 years. It depends on storage and care and that sort of thing. But having something that you know is going to last a lifetime means a lot to me to give to my clients. So they are mounted on this really thick canvas and they add multiple layers of lacquer that has a UV protection, which is really important for us Florida photographers. And you can just really feel confident that the canvases are going to last for a really long time. And the way that they're made, it's something that you're not going to send to the thrift store. You're not going to put it in the yard sale. It's going to be something that you're going to be passing off to your grandchildren, hopefully one day. So if you've got these gorgeous horses in your family and you've got that granddaughter that's the horse crazy girl, you know that this is going to be something she'll hang in her home one day. They also have a really gorgeous frame selection. It's really extensive, but I also feel like it's curated really nicely so that it's great quality, but there's like not so many to choose from that you're feeling overwhelmed. So you pick the ones that just really match your client's decor style. The last thing I want to say about them, which is super important to me as a photographer who really appreciates quality service, they have the support resources unlike anything else. Like they offer sales language, mock-ups, they do behind the scenes videos of your piece being made that you can share with your client. I just think this is I honestly wish more of the companies that I work with would do this because being able to send a video to your client of their piece being made before it arrives, like, is so special. So I just love it so much. So, highly recommend Guild Canvas for any of you out there that are looking at just kind of a really elevated experience for, your business, for your clients, and they have supported us in just such a creative way. They've given us these cool golden tickets for our events, so at our upcoming events, we're gonna be able to give away a free 16 by 20 canvas to someone at the event, and I just think
Woohoo!
that's really cool.
Yay!
So
I am
that's one of the
so
ways they're supporting us.
I have coveted in your gallery, in your office space, which I have know intimately because I have spent the night in there a
Yeah,
few
you've slept there
occasions.
in my
Yeah,
office.
I have slept with the Guild canvases around me, and I have always coveted how beautiful they are hanging on the wall, and I have listened to you and watched you work with them over the years, and they are amazing, and if I ever decide to decorate my own home in work other than I already have hanging up or have clients that want that, they will be at the top of my list to look for that because they do seem like a very special place.
Yeah, I couldn't be more happy that they chose to help sponsor Cowgirls with Cameras. It just makes me so happy.
Yes, it does me too. Yes.
Yep, that's pretty cool. Can we apply for that golden ticket too?
You
Yeah, do we
cannot.
get to put our names into the
Nope,
hats?
sorry, ladies, you guys are not eligible, just our event participants. I will tell folks
Aw.
they can head over to guildcanvas.com to find out how they can, become a client of Guild. They also have a social media page, which is really neat to interact with as well.
That's awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. So today we are going to be talking about outsourcing as a photographer. So, in running a business, or even if you're the photographer who got roped into doing your friend's wedding and you're a hobbyist, you're going to find yourself wanting to do some outsourcing for sure. So, I think this really applies to everybody. Even if you're not a business owner, keep on tuning in. Nothing else for the laughs, but also for there's some education in here that you might find helpful with being able to outsource some of the things that you don't like about photography. And it's interesting as a new photographer or somebody who is even experienced in wanting to know more about outsourcing, it can be a scary thing because you feel very protective of your images. I mean, those are your babies, right? And then the creative process is so important, but there's parts of the creative process and there's even parts of the process of photography that aren't necessarily required to be you as the person doing them. And if you need any more permission than that, just think about the days when we as film photographers, we had to outsource all of the editing process, basically. And I can remember spending hours. I tried to learn how to be a darkroom person and I couldn't take the smell. So that was where I drew the line. It made me feel like I was gonna puke the entire time. I didn't like it. So I had to depend on somebody else to do it. And so it's important. Even in digital photography, there's a lot that you can outsource. So Kara's going to talk to us about what can you outsource in your photography and in your business and in some other things that you might want to know more about. And then Phyllis is going to talk about outsourcing your photos without losing control, like still feeling and knowing that you are in control of the creative process. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about what the future of outsourcing looks like because the landscape of this particular topic is changing. It's in a flux right now. So I want to talk a little bit about how to think about that logically. So without further ado, Kara, take it away.
Okay, so there are lots of things you can actually outsource as a photographer. And as someone who does not feel the need personally to own every aspect of an image that I'm creating for clients. I love to outsource. I don't like to get bogged down in like repetitive stuff that I have to do over and over again. So if I'm doing a portrait client, for example, and there's acne, for example, that needs to be removed from a senior's face, I can do that once and then I'm over it. So I feel like I want to outsource all those pictures to someone that has the time to sit down and just edit acne. I have no problem
Yeah.
doing that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about just some of the things that you can outsource right now and things that I have outsourced before, and kind of like why you should do that and what, like things to consider. So the first thing I've already mentioned it, editing, retouching, even culling, you can outsource. I outsource almost all of my portrait sessions. So a lot of times for me, I will go through and cull the images that I want edited. You don't even have to do that. There's companies you can send the whole thing to, they'll cull them for you. I like to have a little more control. So I'll cull the images that I want edited, tell them what I want done, and send them out and have that done. They come back to me, I put the finishing touches on them, and they're done. And I feel totally fine with that. I feel no sense of, as an artist, that I'm not being fulfilled or that it's no longer my image. I feel none of that. My goal is to get that to my client as quick as possible in the best possible look it can have in order to make a sale. So that's my goal with portrait clients. Now, if I'm creating an art piece or something for the art shop, like I'm going to spend time on it and it's going to be something I baby because it's one image, that I get to play with and really create something from it. But for my portrait sessions, other than a handful of those images, which I'm maybe creating something a little extra special for my client, the basic portrait stuff gets outsourced. And you can outsource horse editing as well, but you want to be really specific and really particular about things that you outsource because I have found that a lot of the standard companies that do outsourcing for like regular portrait work don't do a great job with like equine editing. They kind of do, I just feel like they're kind of sloppy or they really don't know what should and shouldn't be changed
Yeah.
on a horse when you're editing. Um, you can also outsource things like album design and ordering. Albums, they can be a really great, they can be great to sell, but they're a pain in the butt sometimes to create. So I get super excited. I'll be in a sales session and I'll sell an album and I'll be like, yes, because an album's a big sale for me. And I'll be like really excited, but then I have to sit down and design it. And I'm suddenly like kicking myself that I said they could put 50 images in the album. So, being able to have a program that either you work with the program and send it out, or you have a company that will do the design for you, have you approve it, and then send it right to the printer is very, very handy. And it saves you so much time. And honestly, like, they know all these little tricks, design tricks that I maybe don't know because that's what they specialize in. And you can even get like something even better back that you might not have even thought of for yourself. Social media scheduling is a great thing you can outsource. It's really great, especially if you have a plan and you kind of know what you want to talk about, what you want to make sure your social media contains, but you kind of have a hard time being consistent with it and just getting it done. Having someone that their sole purpose is social media scheduling and you guys can work together is huge. When Ken and I first started the Business Animal podcast, for example, we had someone doing our social media and we would send them the topics and we would kind of set it up and then she would create it and schedule it. And that worked really well for a while for us. It really kind of helped us handle the fact that we were new to podcasting. We were kind of new to this whole thing and we were just trying to keep our head above water at the time.
I have totally blocked that out. Like, I didn't even remember that happened.
Yeah, I was the one handling that. So, by the way, I was outsourcing that, Kim, in case you didn't know. Um, Blogging and website updates, that's another great thing that you can outsource. And there's a couple different ways that you can do that. I have outsourced blogging in terms of having someone write my blog. So I will have a list of topics that I want to make sure I cover that fit my voice, that fit my brand, and that are really like keyword heavy and going to be something that really pulls people to my website. So I've hired copywriters to handle my blog writing. So they can send it to me, I can review it, and I can post it, or they even can schedule it on their own. I've done it both ways. And I know, Phyllis, you've worked with people to do this like a newsletter type thing and that sort of thing. Um, and website updates, like having someone fix your website, update your website. Like, that can be really tricky to do it well if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing over
I
there.
don't even know how to do some of the website updates
I know.
that Kim knows how to do or Denise knows how to do. That's why
Right.
I just
Yeah.
Yeah.
no.
I mean, having Denise, yeah, because she's done my website as well. Like having Denise, like she kind of knows like the things that have to be done,
Mhm.
and she has been so great and guiding us in that. So
Well, yeah, like yesterday I had an issue with my newsletter sign up. For some reason it wasn't, I don't know how it was working for other people, but
wasn't
and
working
she
for
went
you.
in, yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't know how to fix it. Yeah, I wouldn't even have a clue. But she
Yeah.
took care of it. So, yeah.
And that's Denise at Storm Lily Marketing. We're talking about her. We should give her a shout out because she's
Mhm.
done both of our websites. And then I have also outsourced email marketing. You've outsourced newsletters. I mean, email marketing can be huge. Just having someone help keep you organized around that, getting it. My hardest thing is staying consistent. Like I've got the ideas.
That's
I
what
want to get it done.
That's what Denise is for, is keeping me consistent. She doesn't write
Yeah.
my newsletters, but she does clean them up if I if
Yeah.
I have bad grammar or something like that or whatever, and she takes care of getting them. And we have a once a month Zoom call where we bounce ideas off, and
Like the accountability piece of it.
I would not
Mhm.
have been I would not have kept it up this long had it not been for her. No.
Yeah. The other things that I like to outsource, bookkeeping and other admin tasks. I mean, like who's going to I mean, honestly, bookkeeping. I mean, I am a business owner, but like being a business owner and being good at math and photography and accounting, I mean, that's hard work. Like, I can't be an expert at all these things. And honestly, y'all, I am terrified of messing up my taxes and going to jail. So, having somebody that can like help keep us in line and can help manage that side of things gives me like such relief. Such relief. And then I just want to say, like, just one last thing. Like, I used to think outsourcing was like a cop out as a business
Mhm.
owner. Like I should be able to do all the things and I should be like embarrassed or ashamed if I don't have my hand in every single thing of business ownership. But what I found out is that I want to spend my time doing the things that I like to do in my business and I want to grow my business forward and I want to create new projects and I get so bogged down and this repetitive stuff that can easily be outsourced. So it really has being learning to not be afraid of outsourcing and trying it out and doing new things, it's just been such a smart way for me to protect my time and my mental bandwidth. So I'm sure there's lots of other things you guys can outsource. Feel free to jump in there if you guys would like. But that's where I'm at.
Some people outsource their entire businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they just run it and do the marketing, and then they outsource all the rest of it.
Yeah.
I mean, my biggest struggle with outsourcing, and I'll call myself out on it because there's probably other people out there that are in a similar boat, is so many times I can do it faster and on my time schedule. I don't
Yeah.
have to wait for somebody else. But I also I'll know how to already do all of those things.
Mm.
I'm the person people call in my client world when they have a question about how to get their website back or their website form isn't working. And sometimes I don't always appreciate being that person. It's a hard row to hoe some
Yeah.
days. But at the end of the day, I do know how to do most of it, and I do get it done super fast.
I have to
So
say though, there's something to be said for that. Like you do have to commit to a time period where like you
you
can't
have to
just
learn it.
hand off your
Mm-mm.
bookkeeping to someone
Yeah.
without any information. Like there's some time commitment that you have to spend so that they understand your business and how to code your expenses and that sort of thing. I mean, there's some time spent there. But I feel like the times that I have made the commitment to front load that it has saved me so much in the long term. I mean, we
Yeah.
outsource podcast editing. I didn't even mention that one here. Like, we outsource our podcast editing. We don't have time to do that ourselves. Can we do it? Yes. You do it
Yeah,
all the
I have
time.
the skill set, and I don't want to. I do my
Right.
own, and
But
that's
that's the
enough.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
yes, we
Yeah.
could do it, but my gosh, if I was spending all the time editing a podcast after we record it, I would never get to go out and take pretty pictures of horses. We
Yeah,
would just be doing
it's
this
a
all the time.
chore. It's a chore. So thank you to Alex who does our
Yeah.
podcast
Big
editing.
shout out to
She's
Alex.
amazing. Yeah, and she does a video part now too,
Yeah.
which is a
The
part of it
YouTube
that
video.
I'm
Yep.
like I don't want. And sometimes it's a matter if you have business partners, like I can do those things, but Kara also likes things done on a time schedule,
Yes.
and I don't always live on a time schedule that fits in Kara's life. So that's the reason one of the reasons why it's like, yes, let's send it all out to be done. I don't know about Phyllis. Phyllis and I could probably live on the time same time schedule, but
Probably, yeah.
Kara's like wants things done and on time and that's absolutely the
Well, you
perfect
want
way to do it.
consistency and
Yes,
organization,
absolutely.
and I think those pieces, like, it's really helpful to have someone that's truly dedicated to that to keep us on track. I mean, if Phyllis was doing
Absolutely.
her newsletters willy-nilly, that would be probably just fine for her, but the fact that she is consistent with her newsletters means that it's gonna grow,
Yes,
and it's gonna be
absolutely.
quality, and it's gonna have an incredible open rate, and all of those things that she's needs from it, you know? I mean, if
Mm.
it's willy-nilly,
Absolutely.
going out whenever she can get it done or thinks about it, then it's probably not adding as much value.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
I
Phyllis.
think one thing that I would like to outsource that I have never thought is marketing. I'd like to outsource marketing.
See, I think that that's one thing that you should really heavily consider before you outsource because
Mhm.
business owners, it's hard to outsource your marketing. Unless you're
Yeah,
in a really cookie cutter industry, it's
sure.
really
Yeah.
difficult because you're turning your branding and your messaging over to somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think you have to really hold tight on the reins, but you already do that. You do the hard part of the newsletter, which is writing it. And the other end of it, the actual execution of it in the outsourcing is a great thing to do. So I kudos to you for that because that is doing your own marketing, but also outsourcing the part of it that is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that.
The
Awesome.
part yeah, the part I don't wanna do. Yep. Well, and of course, yes. So I'm supposed to talk about well, here's a guide to outsourcing your photo editing without losing control, which I do not do, but I know how to do this if I were gonna do it.
So
So I
you're giving us advice that you don't follow?
well, it's because I do my own editing. I do my
Oh,
own
gotcha, gotcha.
yes,
Yeah.
because I'm not doing what you do. I rarely do a lot of portrait sessions and
Well,
like
you're
even
really
when I
missing out
yeah.
on getting to edit all those zits off of people's face, let me tell you. And the
Yeah,
wrinkles,
you
And
you're
the
know.
missing
age
out.
spots.
The age spots, the horse
I
slobber on the shirts
and
repetitively, one after another.
as you know, I
Mm,
am outsourcing my video editing. So,
Good
but
point.
so a lot of this applies to both, whether you're doing outsourcing photo editing or video editing. Is I think the number one thing that I suggest or I give you advice for is to know your style. And whether you're outsourcing photo edit, you still want it to look like you did it. This is
mhm.
your work. Before you outsource, you need to really define what your style is and document it for that matter. Like what are your basic adjustments? Exposure, white balance, contrast. Do you need specific presets or color grading techniques? What are your preferences for cropping, skin? Of course, a lot of this you don't have to outsource. You can be specific about what you're going to outsource. Um, the biggest thing too is to choose the right editing partner. You can I personally like dealing with a freelancer because I think it's more personable and more customizable. There are big editing companies, obviously that have faster. They're probably cheaper and have faster turnarounds. So, it's just a matter of what you want, how you want to work. Questions you should ask is what about turnaround times, revision policies, communication channels, like how are you going to communicate with these people? Um, and also a big one for me would be because as you said before, dealing with equines is a whole lot different from a lot other things. Is experience with your genre, whatever that
Yeah.
specific genre may be. And in our case, of course, it's equine horses. So you want to be sure that you have somebody that has experience in that area. Um, Mm. I would say start small and maybe test the water. Send them a small trial batch to see how well they match your edits. Include raw files and your own final edits so they can see the comparison between the beginning and how you like things done. Um, and be sure that you're giving them specific. I'm sorry, having to cough again. Specific feedback, and don't just assume that, oh, they'll figure it out. No, that it doesn't work that way. Be sure that you really communicate well with your editor. Um, you can use some smart tools like for to get more consistency. I know you can use custom presets in Lightroom. Uh, ay, sorry, I just got back from an international trip, and I think I'm trying to get sick. Um,
You getting the airplane cred.
yeah.
Yeah, the airplane
You better get
crud.
that out of your system before we head off again in a week or so.
Yeah.
That's 2.5. That's almost 3 weeks away,
That
isn't it?
is not almost 3 weeks
It's
away.
Okay,
2 weeks.
two and a
2
half
weeks.
weeks.
2 weeks and 2
Um,
days.
I I know there are companies like Imagine AI or Aftershoot Edit that can these are AI programs that can actually learn from how you your past edits, so they'll actually learn from it. It's not a person doing it, it's an AI program doing it. Keep everything organized is a big one too. Um, but again, like you said, communicate very clearly, give feedback, use screen recordings or side by side comparisons to explain what you like when you're hiring an editor. You can even, I thought this was kind of cool when I was researching this, is you can even use Chat GPT to create your own photography editing style guide template, which I thought was kind of cool.
That's wild.
Yeah, that you can customize and share with your editor to make sure that your look and preferences are completely understood and applied consistently across board. And just don't forget that whatever you're doing, it should be a collaboration. Really be honest and respectful of who you're working with. Stay in touch regularly, especially with the first few projects until you kind of get to know each other a little better. Um, if you if you really wanted to retain a different kind of control, you can, well, of course, do a final pass on to tweak edits before delivery. Of course, you want to do that. I don't care who you're working with, you need to do that. Don't just send it off to the client without checking everything. Or you might want to keep your editor on a, like Kara said, a basic culling and color correction, and then you do the final finish. That's a good, I think, and like to do skin edits and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, mm, and I think most importantly is you want to make sure that the quality of what your editor is doing reflects your brand at every single step. You want to build in time for their visions if you in your delivery schedule, should you need that in between getting them back from the editor and you working on before you have to deliver your those files to your client or prints or whatever you're doing. But just like Kara said, outsourcing, it really doesn't mean you're giving up control, or it shouldn't mean you're giving up control. It means you're going to create a system where you're staying in control while getting your time and creative energy back. So, and that's what I like about outsourcing my video work is it freed me up. I wanted to do video, but I didn't want to spend all that extra time that I knew was going to take because I really enjoy editing my still images, but not so much the video. So,
That's
okay.
awesome. I would just
I
add, like, give them plenty of lead time. Like you had mentioned,
Yeah.
so that you've got time to follow up and make
Mhm.
corrections and that sort of stuff. I would say just, making sure you've got plenty of lead time.
Yep.
Absolutely. And be conscientious about who you hire. I mean, that's another big piece of this. And, I teach a lot of website classes for DIY website people and then people to
Mhm.
hire people because websites are something that people think they can do. And then they find that it's a lot more complicated than it looks like. And then they want to hire somebody and a lot of, a lot of people dipping their toe in it, they will not spend the big money. Like, they'll wanna hire, "Oh, my kid is good with computers, maybe they can learn how to do it."
Yeah.
Or, "I have this friend who's thinking of starting a website design business,"
Mhm.
and, there were lots of air quotes for those of you not watching the video thing in there. And I always tell in my classes when I teach about hiring a website designer, and it's true for any of this, like, this applies to everything.
Like, logo
Um,
design is one that pops up into
yeah.
my head. Yeah.
Yeah, so green on green makes black on blue. If you've been around the horse industry for any time at all, you've heard that particular little adage, green on green makes black on blue. If you don't know what you're doing, the last person that you want to hire is somebody who doesn't know what they're doing because you know that's going to be a wreck. So a green horse, green rider, it's a wreck. And it's the same thing with outsourcing your website to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing if this is your first website. Now, if you get to the level of somebody who's done a few websites, then you get to know, kind of what you want to do and how you want it to be, and then it becomes a much more successful or outsourcing process. And I think that's the same thing that both Kara and Phyllis have kind of talked about here is that to outsource your images to somebody to do even culling and editing or any of these processes or anything in your business, probably short of bookkeeping. I think bookkeeping is something that those people know what they're doing far better than I do. But all the rest of it, you have to have you have to know the creative part of that in order to be able to hand it to somebody else because that's gotta be pretty set, and if you don't have that completely down, you need a person who knows enough about it to ask you the questions that are gonna get the answers that they need in order to do it correctly.
Yep.
Having worked with freelancers for many, 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 many years and having been one myself, I think that it is incredibly important that if you don't know exactly what you're doing, that you hire somebody who does, and they can help guide you. And then once you become really good at working with that person, then if you need to switch and you want to work with somebody who's not as experienced, hey, give them the hand up so that they can become that experienced person. So just like a good horse trainer, I'll take a green horse and make it into a finished horse. You can help a designer who's still green get to that finished level. Um, what I wanna talk about is how this particular proposition is really changing for photographers. Actually, it's changing for everybody on the planet with the influx of AI tools that are coming out and how AI is both at the same time getting better and worse, and I don't know how that's happening. Uh it seems like a really weird, it at one point in time, it feels like it's creating even better, propositions, and at the same time, it's getting worse in some cases. And Phyllis mentioned already a couple of the companies that are offering AI services like culling and AI editing, and I have some wisdom for people around that because 'cause I've experimented with a few of these. The first thing I wanna tell you, because AI is a lot of the future, and I think denying it is you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot if you don't take a look at AI. And there's some of these things that AI is gonna be capable of doing sooner rather than later, and there's some that are going to be more efficiently done by AI than they would be for you to send an image out, both inexpensively and, otherwise. But there's a lot of considerations that you need to take into mind. And I think the first thing I would encourage people to do is if you're not ready to send out large batches of images to a human outsourcing source and you want to experiment with having AI do it, is look to the products that you already are using. Photoshop and Lightroom have both created a lot of AI tools that I don't think people are even aware that exist inside of them.
A
I'm
lot
not
of
aware all
Adobe
of them
has,
are there.
like,
Yeah.
even Premiere Pro now has AI elements
Yes.
to it.
Yeah. There's a lot of that that's coming, and the interesting thing is it's changing on a daily basis,
Yeah.
what's available and what isn't. And I think it behooves any smart, especially business owner, to consider what those tools are offering you, and even if you're not gonna use them, to just stay sharp on what's possible, and that should take, maybe dedicated a couple of hours a month to just researching what is new, what's available. Because here's the thing that you need to understand is the people that are gonna be doing this editing, they're gonna be using those tools as well. Like, anytime any good freelancer is going to figure out a way to use a tool that's gonna save them time because time is money, especially in the freelance world. So knowing what those are, being able to recognize when it's not going to work for your images and double checking everything is really important. So do take a look at the products that you already own and the processes that you already do. Adobe and Topaz are two things that come to mind. Topaz has some amazing AI tools that they're working on, and so does Adobe. Then you have tools like Aftershoot, Imagen. I hope I'm saying that right. Both of those companies, along with a host of other ones, if you Google them, there's a boatload that are getting out there. They have a lot of ability to help you, or supposed ability, and I'm gonna get into why, because this is some upsides and downsides here with this. But, to help you be able to call your images faster. I mean, one of I think the hardest things about the more modern cameras is how many images you can take with a light photo touch of that button, of the shutter button. I mean, I have accidentally taken so many photos that are just they're repetitive because they're almost exactly the same thing. And it eats a tremendous amount of your time when you're going through and calling your images to look at images that are the same. And these AI tools really aim to, at the very least, shorten that time up that we have gotten ourselves into. The problem with it is that AI tools are built off of what is the most common or most popular. In other words, that's the specialization is really hard for AI, hence the reason why it can't get horses' feet and legs quite right. So specialization becomes the difficulty. So if you're doing something that most photographers do, these AI tools are going to be a place that you could look as a way to outsource to AI versus a person that thing. The thing is, most photographers don't do horses. And just as most of these outsourcing companies, you need to make sure they understand horses, AI needs to understand horses. So, um, and so you've got to look at that. The second thing is AI does save time, but it also has, and I learned this new term called AI slop. So it's
There is a lot of slop in
there's a
AI.
lot of slop, right? And the reality is that clients, especially when you're working in the realms that like Kara and Phyllis are working in, your clients are gonna they take handmade as being important because in both instances with you 2, it's critical, and even myself, even with commercial clients, there's something about handmade that's important, and I think it's the open door in all of the concern people have over the photography industry moving forward in that AI is just gonna take all of our jobs and we're gonna be completely out of it. I actually think it's gonna elevate things where we're able to make more money in the long run. I think
I
we're in a
think it's
weird
gonna
place right this
free up
minute.
enough time that it's gonna allow us as creatives to be even more creative. Like, we're gonna be
Yeah.
able to, like, put aside some of the repetitive stuff that we have to do just to keep moving and, like, really be creative and do new things.
Yeah. So I do think that I think there's opportunities that are going to come down the line. And I think that the consumer public is picking up on it faster than what these AI companies are thinking they're going to do. I think there's like a golden moment where you can make a lot of AI swap and maybe make some money. But the reality is that that is not going to last very long.
That really is a
Um,
thing.
it
AI
is a
slop.
thing.
It
It
Uh-huh.
is
is.
a
Yeah, it's
thing.
in Wikipedia. Yep.
Hmm. Yep.
Did you just look it up?
I just did.
So, and then sometimes with AI, and this is the thing that I've discovered with most of my clients with AI, when they try to outsource something to AI, it sometimes it'll take them longer than it would take for them to either send it to a human to do it or do it themselves. It AI has to be treated like an employee, and you wouldn't keep an employee around if that employee quadrupled the amount of time that it took you to execute a project. So AI should not take more energy to utilize than what that task would take to do without AI. And I see this happen a lot, right? Is like, "Oh, how long did you spend on the AI to get that right?" Well, I spent 8 hours on that. removing that halter off the horse's face and getting it all just perfect because I had to send it back and back and back and back and back. And one thing about AI, the more things you send to it over and over again, the worse it gets. There's a breaking point where it's as good as it's going to get, and from there on, it's just going downhill. But I mean, I can take a halter off a horse faster and more efficiently than some of the AI tools, even in Photoshop, can at this point. It's getting to be closer and closer. Every single iteration of their AI is getting better and better. But for right now, that is it. And then the downside of the artist getting out of touch with their art. When you start letting AI make a lot of the decisions for you, it just like letting another person make all of those decisions for you, you start to get on a slippery slope. Um, and then there's the whole slippery slope of AI's copyrightability and like what is going to be able to be ownership and what's not, and what are you giving AI that it's going to utilize for other projects. There just isn't a lot of bumper rails or guardrails at this point in that particular process. That said, I do think there's a lot of consideration we need to give AI as a future outsourcing source for what we do as photographers for some of those repetitive tasks that we need to remove out of our world because, like Kara said, who wants to sit and remove the same zit on 18 different photos that are so similar to each other that that client needs to see them, in a streamlined way. So I do think that it's important to take a look at it, but do so with a little bit of of consideration, so to speak. So what do you guys think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Behind you. Agree.
The big thumbs up, which
That's
I don't
right.
know. I don't
I
know if
concur.
it'll
I
cut it up. Yeah,
concur.
I would
concur.
tell
I
people
All right.
start
concur.
small with outsourcing. Like
Yeah.
pick
Yeah.
one thing that is really repetitive for you that you know how to do really well and that you don't love doing, and doing it would free you up. You to do
Yeah.
something really great for your photography. And
Mhm.
and outsource that. And make sure that you create the space in the beginning to prepare them and set it up for success and give it a try and see what you think. You know,
Absolutely.
you just might be outsourcing everything before you know it.
But you can't outsource your happiness. That's an inner
That's
job.
right. You gain more happiness,
Oh, but I was
hopefully.
gonna say, if you're outsourcing, you may have more
That's
happiness.
right.
If you are outsourcing, you
Oh.
may have more happiness.
But
All right.
I can't see me ever outsourcing I just can't. Video,
There's some
yes.
things I can't let go
Yeah.
of, but
Yeah.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. There's levels. And so one thing before Kara gets into her spiel about join us on social media. The reality of this is don't worry about keeping up with the Joneses. Do what feels right for you.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
Exactly.
this
Mhm.
is all about creating more joy and happiness in your life. And if outsourcing like causes you stress, it is don't do it. It's not a necessity. People can have successful businesses without outsourcing anything. People can have successful businesses with outsourcing almost everything. So
Mhm.
pick your happy
Mm.
spot.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
All right.
We're not here to tell you what to do. We're here to tell you your options.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
And on
Yes.
that note, thank you for joining us today. If you want more, head over to cowgirlswithcameras.com. You can also find us in our amazing community, which we are so excited about, that has over 7+ hours now of video
Oh my
education.
goodness, way more than that now.
Way more than that. I don't even know what we're
Yeah,
up
I
to
think
now.
we're up 10 or 12,
Tons of
14.
resources and
Yes.
handouts and gosh, there's so much going on over there. And we got to have live events, more live events coming up and that sort of thing. So that's cowgirlswithcameras.community. And I think that's it. Check out our sponsor for this episode, Guild Canvas, guildcanvas.com.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Cowgirls with Cameras. Don't let the laughter and learning stop here. Join our community on social media and be sure to visit our website for more opportunities to fulfill your photography goals. Head to cowgirlswithcameras.com. That's cowgirlswithcameras.com. See you next time.